They think the gulag breaks a man. They are wrong. It doesn't break you. It empties you. It scrapes out everything soft, everything human, until you are nothing but a hollow shell filled with cold black ice. You forget the taste of real food. You forget the warmth of a woman's skin. You forget what it feels like to walk without looking over your shoulder, waiting for a guard to slam a rifle butt into your spine. For 12 long years, that was my life. 12 years in the frozen hell of Camp 36, digging through the permafrost with bleeding hands for a crime I never committed. They called me an enemy of the state, but my only state was my wife, Maria. Her face was the only thing that kept the frost from freezing my heart solid. My name is Nikolai. In the gray, suffocating winter of 1978, the iron gates finally groaned open. They handed me a ragged set of civilian clothes, a train ticket, and a piece of paper that said I was allowed to exist again. But freedom is a terrifying thing when you have been a ghost for over a decade. When I stepped off the train in my hometown, the air didn't smell like freedom. It smelled of cheap coal, damp concrete, and industrial rot. The sky was a heavy, low ceiling of white, pressing down on the gray brick buildings of the town. Nobody was waiting for me at the platform. No tears, no warm embraces, just the biting Siberian wind that cut straight through my thin worker's jacket. I walked through the streets I used to know, but everything felt wrong. The people moved like shadows, heads down, eyes fixed on the dirty snow, wrapped in heavy wool coats. There was a strange, suffocating silence hanging over the city. It wasn't the peaceful quiet of a small town. It was the tense, terrified silence of a place that was being suffocated from the inside. Maria's letters had stopped coming exactly 4 years ago. The prison censors told me she had moved away. The guards laughed and said she had found a younger, better man who wasn't rotting in a ditch. But I knew my Maria. We had survived the hunger of the post-war years together. We had built our lives out of nothing. She wouldn't just vanish. She wouldn't stop writing. My boots crunched on the frozen gravel as I approached our small wooden house on the northern edge of the city, near the old railway tracks. From a distance, my heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. But as I got closer, the hope died. The front gate was hanging off its hinges, half buried in a snowdrift. The small garden we had planted together, where she used to grow radishes and marigolds, was choked with dead, frozen weeds. The windows were completely boarded up with rough gray planks like a blind man's eyes. I walked up the creaking wooden steps of the porch. The padlock on the door was covered in rust. I didn't have a key, so I kicked it. 12 years of anger went into that kick. The wood splintered and the door swung open with a heavy, protesting groan. Inside, the cold was deeper than the cold outside. It was a stagnant, dead cold. The air was thick with the smell of dust, damp wallpaper, and abandonment. I walked into the small kitchen. A cracked teacup still sat on the wooden table, covered in a thick layer of gray dust. On the floor lay a single faded leather shoe, Maria's shoe. My knees buckled, and I sank into the dust, clutching that piece of leather to my chest. The house was a tomb, and I was just another corpse walking through it. I didn't cry. The gulag drains the tears out of you in the first 6 months. But a dark, heavy weight settled deep inside my chest. A weight that demanded answers. If you liked my story and want to know what will happen next, make sure to subscribe and like this video right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss what comes out of the dark next, and I will tell you the rest of the secrets very soon. Or, I will just leave right now and walk away into this cold winter fog. If you don't care about what happens next, the choice is yours. But if you are too impatient to wait for the next episode, the full uncut story is already waiting for you. Just type the red Vigilante in the YouTube search bar, find my main channel, and watch the whole video right now. Go check it out, stay safe, and I'll see you there.